Bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite, or whatever the case may be. My name is Marcus, and I am the host of the Black Brazil Today YouTube channel, as well as the blackbraziltoday.com blog, where I analyze Brazil from the perspective of race. Imagine living in a place where the color of your skin determined whether you could dance, celebrate, or even belong in certain regions. In the 1950s, that was the harsh reality for Brazil's Black citizens. But from injustice comes revolution. Today, we're diving into the incredible story of the Renaissance Club and Vera Couto dos Santos, the woman who stood in the face of racism and made history. So today's story started in the early 1950s. Three Black couples were barred from entering a party at a prestigious Rio de Janeiro club. The reason? They were Black. Outraged, rather than organize some sort of protest, they took matters into their own hands. In 1951, they transformed a small leafy house in Rio's Meyer neighborhood into a vibrant new space. They called it the Renaissance Club, a spot where Rio's Black elite could get together, celebrate, and enjoy themselves. Renaissance, which translates to Renaissance, took its name from the Harlem Renaissance in New York, a cultural movement that signaled the rise of a new Black American identity in the early 20th century. Clube Renaissance was officially established on February 17, 1951, about 10 years before a similar institution for Black elites, Clube Aristocrata, would be founded in Sao Paulo. Renaissance symbolized the resilience of a small fraction, less than 1%, of Black Brazilians who had earned college degrees during the 1950s and 1960s. Like the Aristocrata Club that followed, its membership primarily consisted of professionals such as doctors, lawyers, and civil servants. Both the club and its members had a lasting, complex influence on the lives and experiences of Black Brazilians. In their efforts to challenge the myth of Black inferiority, these families, excluded from and discriminated against in white social spaces, built their own environments for community, affirmation, and identity formation, initially distancing themselves from the stereotypes connecting Blacks to the sounds of samba and cachaça rum to define a new cultural space. For Black Brazilians of the time, the Renaissance wasn't just a club, it was a statement. We're here, we're Black, we're beautiful. We too can enjoy the finer things in life. By the late 1950s, Renaissance Club had begun hosting a glamorous balls and beauty contest, something that was unthinkable at a time when Brazilian society equated beauty with whiteness. Against all odds, Black women stepped into the spotlight, radiating beauty, confidence, and pride. And out of these beauty contests came one Vera Couto dos Santos, a name that would change everything. At just 18 years old, Vera was hesitant to compete at first, and for good reason. She knew how racist Brazil was, and she feared facing racism. Due to this fear, she initially said no, but with her father's encouragement, she entered and conquered. On June 27, 1964, Vera made history by becoming the first Black woman to be crowned Miss Guanabara, representing the Renaissance Club. Winning Miss Guanabara wasn't just a personal victory. It was a triumph for Brazil's entire Black community, especially in a year marked by political upheaval and a military coup, which led to a military dictatorship that would last in Brazil for 21 years. Vera's journey wasn't easy. As she prepared for the Miss Brazil contest, she faced direct racism, including threats from an organized group that said they would boo her off the stage. Against all of this vitriol, Vera stood tall. During her walk in the famous Maracanãzinha Stadium, even when a racist heckler shouted insults, she stayed poised, dazzling everyone with her grace. Vera remembers, I knew I would be representing a race, so that gave me a lot of strength to face what came. Amid shouts, booing, and other racist demonstration, Vera Lucia was elected Miss Guanabara State of June 27, 1964. Remembering that time, Vera reveals that there was a girl who shouted. She ran between the tables. She came out yelling, "You Criolla, your place is in the kitchen." Criolla in Brazil is a racial insult somewhat similar to the N-word. When she heard that she had been elected Miss Guanabara, Vera was very much afraid. Her courage would pay off, as she also came in second in the Miss Brazil competition. At that time, the rules dictated that the winner of the Miss Brazil contest would represent the country in the Miss Universe competition, while the runner-up would represent the country in the Miss International contest. Thus, a young Vera Couto came in second at Miss Brazil, represented Brazil in the Long Beach, California Miss International contest, where she came in third. Achievements that brought pride to Black Brazilians and shattered old stereotypes about who could represent beauty on a world stage. Vera's success opened doors that had long been shut. Major stores began hiring Black saleswomen. Black beauty was no longer invisible. Other Black Brazilian women that climbed the ranks in beauty contests along with Vera were Isita Nascimento, who came in sixth place in the Miss Guanabara competition in 1963 and went on to become an actress and model. Dirce Machado placed fourth in Miss Guanabara in 1960. She was also a model, and Esmeralda Barros, who would also later become an actress. All of these women came out of Clube Renascença beauty contest. Another curiosity is that Vera was also featured on the July 1965 cover of the American magazine, Ebony. Although she didn't pursue a show business career like her peers, Vera made a mark behind the scenes, working in Rio's tourism sector for over 30 years and raising 2 children. But in a Eurocentric Brazil, recognition of Black beauty was still a ways away. It was only in 1986, more than 20 years later, when the first Black woman, Daisy Nunes, would be crowned Miss Brazil. After that, it took another 30 years for another Black woman to wear the crown.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You are the first Black woman from Brazil to represent the country in over 30 years.
In 2016, Raíssa Santana wore the crown, and in an historic event the following year, Mona Lisa Alcântara would also be crowned. It was the first and only time in the history of Miss Brazil that Black women would win the title in back-to-back years. But even with this recent success, Black Brazilian women have only been crowned Miss Brazil 3 times in 70+ years of the Miss Brazil competition. To conclude, Vera Lucia Couto's story reminds us that beauty isn't defined by the standards of the few. It is a title to be shared with all. Her courage helped redefine Brazil's image, showing the world that Black beauty, talent, and excellence are unstoppable. Recognizing what her victory meant, Vera proclaimed herself proud to be able to show another face of Brazil to the world. This is how one woman's simple act of defiance led to a powerful movement of Black visibility, pride, and demand for representation that echoes among Black Brazilians to this very day. If you love this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold histories of Black Brazilians that inspire. With that said, I'm going to end this video here and request that you all come back. Check out the next video that I post here at Black Brazil Today.